Okay, so if you saw the last video, you'd see that we finished putting together the STRICH guitar kit. It's all set. I just didn't put the backplate on. Honestly, I probably won't put it on unless I'm getting rid of it. And really the next step is going to be just setting up the guitar. You guys have seen me do this quite a bit. So I'm just going to kind of walk through those stages and speed through them in Video Magic World. The first thing we usually want to do is relieve the neck. The neck was dead straight when I did all the work on it before. So if I had to guess, I'd say there's a little bit of relief now just from the tension of the strings. If that's the case, I'm probably going to leave it alone. Which, looking at it, there's not even a little bit of relief. So what I would like to do is loosen the truss rod just a smidge. All right, there we go. Just a little bit of light's coming through now. So the truss rod should be fine where it's at. The next step I want to do is, the nut's already been taken care of. So I know usually in most guides you see the nut taken care of like last. I prefer to take care of the nut and then the bridge. But I already took care of the nut, and it really doesn't matter if you do that first anyway. So truss rod, then nut is usually where I'd go next. The last thing I really need to do is just make sure that the saddles are at the height I want them, radiused to the 16-inch fretboard, and then intonated. So first thing I like to do is adjust low E and high E to be where I want. And right now I'm sitting at about a 1 mil on low E and less than a 0.5 mil on high E. For perspective, I usually prefer to be at about 1.5 to a 1.25, or even sometimes, depending on the guitar, 1.5 all the way to a 1.5 again. So we need a lot more height on here. Okay, so low E and high E are now set, with low E being 1.5 millimeters from the top of the 12th fret to the bottom of the low E string, and high E set to 1.25 millimeters from the top of the 12th fret to the bottom of the high E string. The middle strings will now be radius to that 16-inch radius that I mentioned. A good way to do this is usually you're going to hit about 1.5 on all the lower strings, so E, A, and D, and then 1.25 on all the higher strings. So before I even get the radius gauge out and dial it in, I'm just going to go through each of the strings and bring them up to about that point. Okay, so low E, A, and D are all set to about 1.5, and then G, B, and high E are all set to about 1.25. So now I want to dial that in using a radius gauge. The way that I do this is pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras here so you can see a little bit better. I have a radius gauge. 16 inches is the side I'm looking for. I rest it against the strings, and I play the strings. And if any of the strings aren't touching, I dial it in. So right now I need high E and low E to touch the gauge first. High E is touching, but low E isn't, which means A, maybe even D, are a little high. Okay, now high E and low E are touching the radius gauge. Now I'm going to check the rest of the strings and make sure they're also touching without missing any of the strings. Okay, so D is the only other string that's touching. So B, G, and A need to come up just slightly. Okay, now all the strings are touching on the radius gauge at 16, which means the strings are radiused. So the last step, like I mentioned a minute ago, is just going to be to intonate the guitar. If you don't know what intonation is, I do have a video specifically on this, but I'll explain it kind of briefly here. Let's go ahead and get you a little bit closer on the opposite side of the guitar now. So on the guitar, we have 6 saddles. Some guitars will have 3, some guitars have none. 6 saddles is generally considered the easiest to intonate. Each saddle needs to be either moved forward or backward so that the string is in tune as much as possible from the nut all the way to the last fret. If the string is played in tune and it's E, for example, and then I do the harmonic and it's also E, and then I do the fretted, and the fretted note is sharp or flat, that needs to be adjusted. If the fretted note at the 12th fret is fine, that means the saddle's in the right spot. If it's flat, the saddle needs to be pushed away or loosened so that the string has less length to vibrate through. If the note is sharp, you tighten or pull back the saddle so that the string has more length to vibrate through until you dial in the tuning. So that's all I'm going to be doing here. It's very hard to show you what I'm doing because I use a pedal on the floor to do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it quickly and speed through it for you. All right, so the guitar is intonated. Let's go ahead and hear how it sounds. So you guys, I'm running through a Pod Go directly into the computer. So what you're hearing is essentially what I would use for classes to emulate. Here's just a regular clean electric guitar tone on the bridge. Bridge and middle. Middle. Middle and neck. Neck. Okay, let's go ahead and just throw on a tube screamer type drive. Okay, so it doesn't sound bad. It sounds a little muffled, like there's not a lot of clarity in the pickups. That's not a big deal, honestly. I mean, the guitar, for any supplies to finish it, and honestly, if you just wanted to do it out of the box with a screwdriver, most people have that laying around. It's $95 right now, last time I checked. They usually go for around $100. That's crazy, right? The place that they cheaped out on, I think, is pretty obvious. They cheaped out on the electronics. So it's not that they're bad. It's just if you want something better, you're going to want to upgrade those probably. The tuners, they're fine. I mean, they're not the smoothest. If they're the same 15:1, 14:1 ratio, of their finished models, they're fine. They don't feel the best when turning. They just feel like there's some slippage, but they do the job. The nut, some people would replace that immediately. I'd be very careful replacing this nut because it's probably, like I said, super glued into the man-made fretboard. And when you try to remove them, they typically tear out, which is not good on this type of fretboard because it's hard to repair. So, I mean, yeah, if you wanted something to play, this would be it. You know, the bridge is fine as a hardtail. The electronics work, they just don't sound the best, but setup wise, it plays great. Granted, I did a lot of work before doing the basic setup on the frets and everything, but it doesn't feel particularly bad. And when I was checking the frets, there were high spots all over the place, but you could do a setup to kind of get rid of that. And honestly, if you're just interested in learning kind of how the guitar works by putting one together, I think this is a good route to go. So thank you again, STRICH, for trusting me and having faith in your products to send out another instrument for me to take a look at. If you guys are interested, I'll have this linked in the description below. Some links are affiliate links, so I get a small kickback for anything that you buy through Amazon if you click on one of them. But if you want to buy this specifically, that link is down below. If you have any questions about it, feel free to leave them down below as well. I try to answer every comment that I get on a video, just to keep the motivation and stuff going on these types of projects. I think it's a really good learning experience to build and play guitar. If you're interested in lessons, you can get your first lesson free using the link in the description as well. And yeah, this has been a fun little project, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.